Both sides of the story. Both sides of the story.
Both sides of a story.
Both sides of the story. Both sides of the story. Both sides of the story. Both sides of the story.
Both sides of a story.
Both sides of the story. Both sides of the story. Both sides of the story.
Both sides of a story.
We always need to hear both sides of the story.
Afternoon, you found a song?
Both sides of a story.
Knowledge is power. Class is in session, hour 106.
How do I love thee? Let me count the ways. I love thee to the depth and breadth and height my soul can reach when feeling out of sight for the ends of being and ideal grace. I love thee to the level of every day's most quiet need by sun and candlelight. I love thee freely as men strive for right. I love thee poorly, purely, as they turn from praise. I love thee with a passion put to use in my old griefs and with my childhood's faith. I love thee with a love I seemed to lose with my lost saints. I love thee with a breath, smiles, tears of all my life. And if God choose, I shall but love thee better after death.
Love has found its way in our hearts today, yeah. Love has found its way in our hearts today. When your love is beautiful, there's nothing that can go wrong. When two hearts beat together, it's like an everlasting song. It's like an everlasting song. The moon shines bright over yonder, yeah, and it makes me feel so fine. I'm so thankful, baby, that Jah has made you mine. I'm so thankful that Jah has made you mine. 'Cause love has found its way in our hearts today. Yeah. Love has found its way in our hearts today. In our hearts today. hard to resist. Let me feel your loving kindness and all your tender. I said all your tender. Yeah. Oh, lady, you made me so very happy. Even the blind man could see that love can be so beautiful. Love that's meant to be. Oh, love that's meant to be. Cause love is found its way in our hearts today. Love has found its way in our hearts today. In our hearts today. Oh lady, you bring me up, you bring me up. Yeah. I never gonna let you slip through my finger. No way, no, no, no. Oh, lady, let me stay in your mind.
Love Has Found Its Way by Dennis Brown. And before that, the most famous love poetry of them all, How Do I Love Thee? Sonnet 43 by Elizabeth Barrett Browning. On this, the eve of St. Valentine's Day. We're still in the International Decade of Healthy Aging, the International Decade of Ecosystem Restoration, the International Decade of Ocean Science for Sustainable Development, the Decade of Action for Road Safety, and the UN International Decade of Indigenous Languages. Reggae Month and Heart Month activities continue here in Jamaica, even as Americans, Canadians, Britons, and the Dutch continue to celebrate Black History Month. And in terms of the other observances, on a day like today, it's National Foster Care Recognition Week, Safer Sex Week, and National Career Week. It's World Radio Day, and it's International Condom Day. Hoy es martes, el 13 de febrero 2024. Y les saludamos en cualquier parte del mundo que nos están escuchando en este momento. Estamos muy agradecidos por el don de la vida y el privilegio de servirles en otra edición de su programa, Both Sides of the Story, ambos lados de la historia. Nunca vamos a tomar su audiencia por sentado, porque sabemos que ustedes tienen otras opciones. Y esta es la razón por la cual jamás olvidamos darle las gracias por elegir Both Sides of the Story, ambos lados de la historia, de lunes a viernes desde las 2 hasta las 5 de la tarde, aquí en Power 106 FM. La misión continúa para educar, capacitar, iluminar y estimular el espíritu empresarial. Bienvenidos. C'est mardi le 13 février 2024 et nous vous saluons tous qui nous écoutez où que vous soyez dans le monde. Nous sommes reconnaissants du don de la vie ainsi que du privilège d'être votre service pour une nouvelle édition de votre programme Both Sides of the Story, le pour et le contre. Nous ne considérons pas votre fidélité comme un de soi parce que nous savons que vous avez l'embarras du choix. C'est pourquoi nous n'oublions jamais de vous remercier de choisir d'écouter Both Sides of the Story, le pour et le contre, du lundi au vendredi de 2h à 5h de l'après-midi sur notre antenne Power 106 FM. Nous continuons notre mission d'éduquer, d'habiliter, d'éclairer et d'encourager l'esprit d'entreprise. Bienvenue. All we're saying is it's Tuesday, the 13th of February, 2024, and we greet you well, wherever in the world you are listening to us right now. We remain eternally grateful for the gift of life and the privilege to serve you on yet another edition of your program, Both Sides of the Story. We don't ever take your listenership for granted because we know you have choices. And that's why we never, ever forget to remember to say thanks for choosing to listen to Both Sides of the Story, Monday to Friday, 2 to 5, right here on Power 106 FM. The mission continues to educate, empower, enlighten, and encourage entrepreneurship. Welcome.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
2:15. Today, February 13, we celebrate World Radio Day. Here's another great reason for radio. Radio saves lives in emergencies. Time after time, when disaster strikes, the first thing that usually fails is the internet and cellular telephone networks. Radio stations are often the first to provide timely information, especially to those in remote areas where transmission can be received by battery-powered portable radios. Power 106 FM, celebrating 31 years of powerful talk radio, saluting the institution of radio on this World Radio Day. The Trelawney ABS is celebrating its 69th anniversary of the Hague Agricultural and Industrial Show with its 67th staging on February 13 and 14, 2024, under the theme, The New Face of Food, tasting Jamaican dishes, agricultural produce, lots of fun and entertainment. There'll be a variety of villages to see, economic, horticulture, health and wellness, kiddies, arts, and much more. Starting time, 10 a.m. Admission, children 12 and under, $600, and adults, $1,500. Don't miss it.
Enjoy the service you deserve, traveling in style with tour buses and taxis from UCAL's Car Rental Tours and Taxi Service. Call 876-952-3836 or 876-449-7290.
So thankful that God has made you mine. Cause love has found its way in our hearts today. Love has found its way in our hearts today. In our hearts today. Oh, baby, please let me stay with you. This love is so hard to receive.
Good afternoon to those of you listening to us on 106.1, 106.3, 106.5, 106.7, and 106.9. From Moran Point to Negril Point, from the Goat Islands to Galena Point. This is Power 106 FM, serving Jamaica and the diaspora. Hello to those tuned in via the Power 106 FM app, which you have downloaded from the App Store or the Google Play Store, depending on the nature of your device. Downloading is free, listening is free, whenever, wherever. We acknowledge those who have dialed one of two numbers. In fact, I think we still have to hold on to those numbers for the time being until we can resolve the the situation that a listener told us about a few days ago. So we'll, as soon as we get an update from Roland Booth, we will share the information. So we'll hold those numbers in the meantime, except the regular call-in lines and the text line and WhatsApp number. So the regular call-in lines, 876-922-4112 to 5. 922-4112 to 5. The text line, same as the WhatsApp number, 876-365-3346. 876-365-3346. Looking forward to your usual participation. After all, it is your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM. The numbers to call, 876-922-4112 to 5, 876-922-4112 to 5. The text line, same as the WhatsApp number, 876-365-3346, 876-365-3346. And let's see, Franklin McDonald, as usual, first out of the blocks, and sharing with us a GIS item, Hague Agricultural Show celebrating 49 years, and portions of this year's Hague Agricultural Show aired right here on Power 106 FM on this World Radio Day, which we mentioned earlier. And Franklin McDonald has latched on to that as well. And he has shared some more information, additional information on World Radio Day. Thanks as usual, Mr. McDonald, for your interest in the various happenings at home and abroad. And we're always happy to oblige. Thank you very much. And let's also use the opportunity, as we like to do, just to ensure that we are on top of things as far as the latest news stories are concerned, as they are posted by the Gleaner. So here we go, a couple of stories to wrap your minds around. Businessman accused of wife's murder was a beneficiary of her $120 million life insurance. Witness testifies. Businessman Omar Collymore, who is accused of orchestrating the January 2018 murder of his wife, was one of the beneficiaries of the woman's $120 million life insurance. And the story goes on with respect to the testimony of the victim's mother. According to the story, the victim's mother testified this morning during the trial in the Home Circuit Court that she found the policy after her daughter's death in the couple's office. She said the couple's two children were the other beneficiaries. The witness, who wore a pained and sad expression on her face, also testified that on a night before her daughter's murder, she had noticed a strange car lurking on the road. Well, it's really getting scary with these things that are happening in Little Jamaica. It's frightening. Right, so she had noticed a strange car lurking on the road where her house was located. The witness told the court that she was coming home from watch night services with her mother-in-law about minutes after 1 when she was waiting outside her house to be let in, as she had left her gate remote. She told the court that she was waiting because calls to her husband, children, and gardener were unsuccessful. The witness said while waiting outside, she noticed the car, which was at a dead end on the lane, after the driver flicked the headlights, indicating that it wanted to pass her vehicle. But shortly after, She said the car returned and stopped by her neighbor's gate before driving up in front of her car and someone looking into her vehicle. I turned down my phone and started to pray because it looked suspicious, and I was like, Jesus, she recalled. Omar Best Collymore and his three co-defendants, Michael Adams, Dwayne Pink, and Shaquille Edwards, are being tried for the woman's murder and that of her taxi driver, Winston Watson. The defendants are being tried for two counts each of murder and a count of conspiracy. The 32-year-old businesswoman and the 36-year-old taxi operator were gunned down on Stanley Terrace in Red Hills, St. Andrew on January 2, 2018. Collymore is alleged to have orchestrated his wife's murder and was home at the time of the killing. The victims were shot and killed when they arrived at the gate of the apartment building where Campbell Collymore lived. They were shot by two pillion passengers who were traveling on motorbikes. Campbell Collymore, who was reportedly shot 21 times, and Walters both died on the spot. One of Collymore's former co-accused, Wade Blackwood, who was one of the shooters in the incident, was sentenced on March 11, 2021 to 2 life sentences on 2 counts of murder and 8.5 years for illegal possession of a firearm. The sentences are running concurrently, and he will be eligible for parole after serving 35 years. Attorney at law Diane Jobson is representing Collymore, with Pink being represented by attorney Ernest Davis. Attorneys at law Patrick Peterkin and Janoj McDonn are representing Edwards, and Adams is being represented by attorney C. Mitchell. And we don't always get the opportunity to read these stories. Every now and then somebody says, how come we don't hear anything about that again? It just gone so? See, me tell you, nothing not come out of it. So it does help when, sadly, these things happen. We're able to share the outcome so far up to the point of the matter being in court or otherwise, so that people get a sense that, yes, indeed, the investigations continue, the court action is continuing, etc. So people, and even with that, people will still say, well, they don't think this and that and so on. But the state has a duty through its designees to ensure that the information gets out and the society knows what has happened or what is happening in this or that case. It is important. It is important. That's the only one we'll read this afternoon. And we'll just give you a quick snap of the headlines in the other stories. Golding says PNP has reconnected with the people of Westmoreland. President of the People's National Party, Mark Golding, says the party has regained losses suffered in Westmoreland arising from the 2020 general election. He was addressing a group of PNP supporters Tuesday in White House. That's today in White House. Also, businessman shot in suspected attempted robbery at Oakland's apartment. Police probing accidental fatal shooting of Beryllium security officer. What a tragedy. And the Bahamas Prime Minister urging media to keep crime off front pages. Can you imagine if Jamaicans were told to do that, or Jamaicans were asked to do that? That wouldn't happen. It wouldn't happen, because that's what the democracy is about. Whatever is happening, both good and bad and in between, the people must know what is happening. But if this is true, and I suspect it is, Bahamas Prime Minister urges media to keep crime off front pages. Now then, no. That you can't tell the fourth estate what to do now, can you? If that were the case, then can you imagine all hell would break loose? So the story coming out of Nassau, Bahamas, from the CMC, Bahamas Prime Minister Philip Davis is urging the local media to keep crime off front pages amid concerns that the tourist sector, the lifeblood of the chain of islands, could be severely affected. What a thing.
It's like an everlasting song. It's like an everlasting song.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
2:30.
Enjoy the service you deserve, traveling in style with tour buses and taxis from UCAL's Car Rental Tours and Taxi Service. Call 876-952-3836 or 876-449-7290 or email ucalscarrental@yahoo.com. Make your reservations soon.
Get 95% financing with a secured loan or easy unsecured loans up to $1 million for motor vehicles not exceeding 10 years. Land titles, cash investments, and insurance policy. Deposit held for loans are insured to a minimum of $15,000 at no cost to you. Conditions apply. Save regularly and get competitive interest rates on savings paid quarterly. Save a minimum of $500 weekly with saving options from 12 to 48 weeks with our partner plan. For more information on fixed deposits, partner plan, golden harvest, and other products and services, contact Trelawney Cooperative Credit Union, 876-954-3253. Start a habit today and save the Trelawney Cooperative Credit Union way.
The moon shines bright over yonder, yeah, and it makes me feel.
We're not belaboring the point, but since the Bahamas Prime Minister has information and has shared the information, we may as well just share it as well. So this story is, the other part of the story is, if you go to Jamaica, says the Barbados Prime Minister, if you go to Jamaica, they had over 70 murders in less than 3.5 weeks. Trinidad, over 100 murders. The Bahamas has recorded 25 murders so far this year. Now, we don't want to take serious thing and make laugh, but we would take 25 any day. God forbid. And we don't mean to be out of order in that regard, but we're just saying it does help to put things into perspective in terms of looking at what is happening in our backyard and what's happening in the backyards of our neighbors, Jamaica, Trinidad, Bahamas. So the Bahamas has recorded 25 murders so far this year. And the police in the Bahamas are saying many of the homicides are gang-related, which is the same narrative we hear here in Jamaica. Most of these crimes are gang-related. So something is happening, has been happening for some time. It's happening now and still happening, and perhaps will go on for some time to come. For the sake of all of us, we hope not, but in the meantime, let's play our part and do what we can while we can. So that's another of the stories trending at this time on the Gleaner's website. And we'll leave that here for the time being. So let's get to you right now, your thoughts, your concerns, your issues, your questions, etc. The lines are open to you. 876-922-4112-5, 876-922-4112-5. The text line, same as the WhatsApp number, 876 365-3346, 876-365-3346. And we'll see if we can quickly share with you a piece of this World Radio Day 2024 story, which was shared with us by Franklin MacDonald in Guelph, Canada. It says, World Radio Day 2024, celebrating the role of radio in disaster management, celebrating the role of media in disaster management. The Institution of Engineers, India, Andaman and Nicobar State Center will host a variety of radios. Priceless, priceless. Thank you very much, Mr. MacDonald. Let's continue with your program, both sides of the story. Power 106 FM, still streaming live on the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com, live on your smart devices all over the world. And as usual, we always have messages to clear, some of them already spent, so to speak, but some still relevant. Calvin, good afternoon to you. We see you. And let's see who else is messaging us as we try to get up to date with the WhatsApp and text messages. There's a story good for you to share your thoughts in that regard. Thank you very much. Keep those messages coming in. 876-922-4112-5, 876-922-4112-5. The text line, same as the WhatsApp number, 876-365-3346, 876-365-3346. Let's go to the break and come back with more in just a moment.
Love has found its way in our hearts today. Love has found its way.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
2:45. Babe, I thought you fixed the roof.
Yeah, man, I used some duct tape and some bubble gum.
What? That never worked. The roof's still leaking.
Well, I couldn't find any rope. What do you expect?
What rope have to do with roof? We're going to Hypro A Super Center. Don't just try a thing. Do it like a pro. Get everything you need for your next project at Hypro A Super Center. Tools, housewares, paints, plumbing, hardware, and gardening supplies. Plus a whole lot more. Only 15 minutes from Kingston off the new Mandela Highway.
In our hearts today, love has found its way.
Good afternoon to Mikey Jarrett. He says, Tuesday afternoon, blessings and blessed love, my brother Dervan Malcolm from Brooklyn, New York. Always good to have you tuned in, Mikey Jarrett in Brooklyn, New York. Norman Hines in St. Thomas with us as well. So too, Valerie Weller Carr Peck says, good afternoon, Mr. Dervan and all listeners. Good afternoon, Valerie Weller Carr Peck. Paul Miles of the eponymous Paul Miles Foundation is greeting us as well. He continues to do great work here in Jamaica in the field of education, in particular, education and sports, the fields of education and sports. So far, so good. Well done, Paul Miles. Velta Wilson says, good afternoon, Mr. Malcolm and listeners. Good afternoon, Velta Wilson. Cherry Henry is also on board. Welcome, Cherry Henry. Good to have you on board. Thank you very much for making it both sides of the story here on Power 106 FM. Still streaming live on the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com. Live on your smart devices all over the world. Taking your calls on 876-922-4112-5. 876-922-4112-5. Text line same as the WhatsApp number, 876-365-3346. 876-365-3346. And let's see who else is messaging us here on both sides of the story. Power 106 FM. Thank you very much, Jessica, Patrice. And let's see who else. Keep those messages coming in. Thank you very much for making it both sides of the story here on Power 106 FM. Still streaming live on the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com. And since we have been dipping into the archives to highlight a couple of political stories or stories on politics, well, here's one coming out of the then Westmoreland Parish Council. This was 1958, and it has gone down as the shortest minutes of a meeting of the Westmoreland Parish Council. It was laid on the table of the council when members met for the regular monthly meeting. The minutes of the meeting read, 1. The regular monthly meeting of the Westmoreland Parish Council was held this day, January 9, 1958. 2. The chairman called the meeting to order. 3. The notice convening the meeting was taken as read. And 4. The chairman adjourned the meeting. That's it, 1958. The shortest minutes of a meeting of the Westmoreland Parish Council. Thought we'd share that one with you. And staying with the politics for just a little. 1962, Robert Bradshaw, the West Indies Federation's finance minister, reports that in 1959, when the federal government took office, Jamaica's total contribution to federal expenses amounted to $4,268,070, while federal expenditure in Jamaica was $3,974,750. This expenditure was on the University College at Mona. So if you've always been wondering why they referred to the University of the West Indies as UC, it's because it used to be called University College, UC, University College at Mona, the Institute of Social and Economic Research, the University Hospital, the West India Regiment, and for payment to the Jamaican members of the federal government, Bradshaw said. He was giving the figures not to denigrate or denigrate Jamaica, God forbid, but to prick the thin and spurious bubble and to explode the fiction that Jamaica was carrying the Leeward and Windward Islands in the Federation. Here's another one, 1963. It was learned that Prime Minister Alexander Bustamante had decided to appoint a deputy prime minister who would take precedence over the ministers to lead the government when he has to leave the country. The Constitution does not make any specific provision for that office, but advisors say it is within the power of the Prime Minister to make this appointment. It is understood that Donald Sangster, Minister of Finance and first deputy leader of the Jamaica Labour Party, will be appointed to this office. Here's another one. Education Minister Edwin Allen revokes the appointment of 5 members of the Kingston School Board because of an impasse between the board and the ministry over the appointment of a headmaster of the new Trenchtown Senior School. The board's appointment of A.G.R. Byfield, a former headmaster of the Trenchtown Primary School and PNP member of the Federal Parliament and Federal Minister, is not acceptable to the minister. The board stands firm on its decision, but Allen says that by personality and training, Byfield is all right, but for political reasons, the appointment cannot be sanctioned. You can hear them thinking, right? Back in 1963, as opposed to unilaterally taking certain decisions. Yeah, they were still trying to keep it together. 1963. And there's a bit of significance, or we'll come back to that at another time. We'll leave that, but let's continue. 876-922-4112-5. Those are the regular call-in lines. Incidentally, for what it's worth, you might want to know that Independent Talk with Ronnie Thwaites started on Power 106 FM on this day in 1995. You heard right. On this day in 1995, Independent Talk with Ronnie Thwaites started on Power 106 FM. The program ran from 6:15 a.m. to 9 a.m. And here's another story. Let's just go back to 2003. On this day in 2003, the Minister of Finance, Dr. Omar Davies, told the Gleaner that comments he made Sunday, February 9 at a People's National Party PNP constituency conference regarding the handling of projects prior to the October 2002 general election have been misconstrued for political purposes. Dr. Davies said he had no problem admitting that the government took the decision to continue with projects during the build-up to the general election, even though there were other pressing issues facing the country at the time. Speaking at a PNP Northwest St. Andrew constituency conference on Sunday of that week, Dr. Davies said the government made public spending decisions during the election campaign, knowing they were financially unsound. And there's a quotation of what the then finance minister said. Last year, on the road to the fourth term, there was no way I was going to stop any project which we had on the ground. Even with the flooding, even with the other things then, there is no way I was going to stop the projects. If it was another time, I probably would have held back on other things and deal with the flood damage. But there was no time, and I am not going to make any apologies for it. The questions we face is that now that we have reached, we have to correct it. The words there of former Finance Minister Dr. Omar Davies. And let's go to 2008. Prime Minister Bruce Golding, the previous day, exercised an option to cut his pension to 2/3 of a Jamaican Prime Minister's salary, while at the same time reducing pension to be paid to his successors. Golding announced this decision while contributing to a debate on the Pensions Prime Minister Act. The bill was passed without amendment. The amendment to the legislation provides that future prime ministers be paid a pension equivalent to 2/3 of the annual salary of the sitting prime minister. This reverses a decision made by the PJ Patterson administration in 2005. I think we're going to leave it there for the time being. 876-922 411-2 to 5 are the numbers to call, the call-in lines. The text line, same as the WhatsApp number, 876-365-3346. Yard Boy on YouTube says, good afternoon, Mr. Dervan, and to all Jamaican, something missing here. And to all Jamaicans, I think you want to say, listening from New Jersey, and I'm enjoying the show today. It's my mother's birthday. She is 86 years old today. She lives in St. James, Mobay. Well, happy 86th birthday. Happy 86th birthday to your mom who lives in St. James. We wish her long life and good health. Thank you for your message, the listener who goes by the moniker Yard Boy. Thank you very much for your message. The text line, same as the WhatsApp number, 876-365-3346. 876-365-3346. This message from Viziniri in Savannah Lamar, Westmoreland says, Dervan, remember that the Gleaner reported that the two biggest gangs in Jamaica were in the Parliament of Jamaica. Viziniri, Savlamar. P.S. The Bahamas would prefer criminal activities be reported on page 2. We'll be back in just a moment.
Love has found its way in our hearts. In our hearts.
Contractors, developers, and small builders. Contact Coast to Coast Group of Companies for high-quality concrete products. The time by Coast to Coast Group of Companies is
3 o'clock. Today, February 13, we celebrate World Radio Day. Here's another great reason for radio. Radio is cost-effective. Radio delivers many more consumers per dollar spent than most other media. As a result, targeted niche programming can be created and delivered at lower costs. Today's streaming services work harder with each listener. Radio doesn't work like that. One transmitter handles the entire coverage area, regardless of the number of listeners. Power 106 FM, celebrating more than 31 years of powerful talk radio, saluting the institution of radio on this World Radio Day. Here is a financial literacy tip from your friends at Power 106 FM. The 50-30-20 rule. Creating a budget can help you make confident decisions and enjoy peace of mind. A detailed budget, though, can be complex to manage. For one easy way to plan your spending, you may try using the 50-30-20 rule. It splits expenses into just 3 categories and also offers recommendations on how much money to use for each. The 50-30-20 rule recommends putting 50% of your money towards needs, 30% towards wants, and 20% towards savings.
Both sides of the story.
Savings
One
category
moment,
also includes money you will need to realize your future goals.
Love has found its way in our hearts today. Yeah. Love has found its way in our hearts. In our hearts today.
Thanks a lot for staying with us here on your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM. Courtney Thompson says, run with it, in reference to one of the stories from the archives that we shared a short while ago. Let's go to the text line, same as the WhatsApp number, 876-365-3346. Hello, good afternoon. Thanks for calling.
Yes, good afternoon, Mr. Malcolm. How you doing?
Good afternoon. I'm fine, thanks. There's a lot of noise where you are, though.
Why not doing that? All right, so cut out the noise now. Okay, all right, quick question for you now.
Yes.
The name Actor Boy Award, you ring a bell to you?
Yes, it's the local award presented to thespians and theatrical practitioners.
Yeah, but I want to ask you this question. I know you're going to think before you answer me.
Really?
Out of the Prime Minister and Desmond McKenzie, which one qualifies for the Actor Boy Award?
You would have to make a decision on that. I didn't agree to engage in any such conversation or discussion with anyone.
No, the reason why I ask you, I hear on the news this morning, Mr. McKenzie saying they're going to all the market them and make sure they have sanitary convenience. So all these years, I know you know so them want them.
Well, you'd have to put it to Mr. McKenzie, but in the final analysis, it has to do with stewardship and those who are appointed or otherwise given a task to do in a particular area. The proof of the pudding is in the eating, and then we will know who is competent and who is not, in order to take action thereafter, recognizing that a mistake had been made.
So, all right, your administration was in, they are out, and you come back in. And when you look down the road now, in a couple of weeks or a couple of days from now, you see where you're going to commit political suicide. So you're trying hard to avoid all those happenings. And I know you're going to try to carry the problem. When you have year before last come into this year to carry the problem.
Yeah, well, the beautiful thing about the times in which we're living is that we have more than enough technologies and stories and archives and other material to be able to say, and it came up in an interview having to do with the debates, that who is holding those who participate in these debates, who is holding them to their word, that, etc. But we never usually hear down the road, did these things manifest? Did they happen? Was money spent? Was the market repaired? Was the cemetery maintained, etc.? So we have to get to the point now where we are seriously watching who is doing what, as opposed to who is doing nothing.
They will do it now, you know, and if the media people want to check after them, so them do it, they want to see that them do it, because they're back against the wall right now. So they will do it, man. I can guarantee you that.
Mm-hmm.
If you're back against the wall and you're left without a choice, you will do it. But on the other hand, you could have do it genuinely, you know, meaning that you want it to be done and make sure the people have what need to be done. But if you do it during this time, when a couple of days time we go have an election, people not want to see it that way. They want to see how people have something to win.
Yeah, well, the people can decide whether they want to go ahead with whoever is doing the last minute work, or they're going to call out who is doing the last minute work. In other words, the people must make it clear to the public that they are not putting up with certain practices as they have in the past, as they have done in the past.
Okay. So in the event them win, they must not cease as continue to work same way.
What's that?
In the event them win, come next week, and they say they must start some work from now on. Once cease the work, just continue to work.
Well, if the work is there to be done and funds have been earmarked for the work to be done, why would anybody want to stop that? Why not go on?
Yeah, but them have a tendency to tell us, because sufficient. I hear them all the time, you know. When the time passes, them will tell us, because sufficient funds not available, then the work have to see.
That level of decision making must be answerable to someone else or some unit at a higher level. You don't just allow that to just go by like that. Somebody has to be held accountable.
I never forgot this guy here. There's a guy named Major Garrick. Them same was a White House. He'll do something for the media, like when the president saying anything and not keeping up him always hold them to it. And I remember one time my man Barack Obama getting a little argument there. And Mr. Obama said to him, say, Mr. Garrick, come on, it's 3 years now you have talked to me about this. The man said, I cannot say something and walk away. I'm going to hold you to it. Make sure it be done. And that's what things get done. The man in Jamaica, don't tell us something. Where we are here about it again. Because the media people not to hold them responsible for it. They flash it across the news one time or 2 times, I never hear about it again. Every step of the way, you must pressure them and they will get things done. No matter the dodge and run from you, hold them to it until it's done.
By all means, hold their feet to the fire, yes.
Yeah, but the problem is it didn't happen.
Really?
So, like your boss now.
Who's boss?
Or your supervisor.
Who's that?
No, where you work, you have somebody who's supervisor, right?
No.
You one boss, I like that. Okay.
I didn't say that.
Right, didn't say it. All right, but people in the media, when them go there, like the politician say something and them go there and tape them and play back on the news. Give them 2 days, 3 days, come back to them with it. And you will get things done.
Oh, that's your suggestion.
Well, the best decision I bet you if you work that way, you get things done. They just tell you things done because they have a style of them now. Then tell you things just to back your half. And you say, yes, him say I'm going to do this. But nobody not put on the pressure upon him to make sure say, and they say, well, him feet to the fire.
Well, there is no time like the present. I feel like I've been saying this for years. For more than 31 years. I feel I've been saying it. The same. Okay. Yeah, it's you get different opportunities. You recognize what's happening in terms of the gamesmanship in the politics. And at different stages, you get an opportunity to say to these individuals, look, we're not into the foolishness, you know. We're not into it. We're not going to put up with any of it. And the more we take these matters seriously, with a straight face, serious, to insist. We have to insist.
Yeah. Well, I'm only sorry we never transfer it in the media. That's how we put out some pressure on them.
I'm sure you would.
All right, boss. So, all that is happening now. They can assure me and reassure me that after the 26th, the work continues.
But the work has to continue. The work has to continue. There is a lot of work to be done in Jamaica. It can't be that it's just once every 5 years paid to maintain. It's something we don't do very well, maintenance, to maintain these cemeteries and certain public areas, etc.
I think part of the problem is sometimes you get some little man with a color look posting and send them go clean and cemetery. That's not how they should do it. They should have some people that them employ and this is their job.
Well, that's what I'm saying. And that's what I said the last time you were on, I think. Yes.
Yeah, so they have to get it together.
Yes, man. And the people have to insist.
Well, after the 26th, we'll see what takes place from there.
Okay.
So when I call after the 26th, no, so next month when I call you, they're supposed to say, yeah, man, the work will go on, man.
We'll see.
Is that the key? All right, boss. I hear you loud and clear.
All right, take care.
All right.
This is your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM, 876-922-4112-5. Good afternoon. Thanks for calling.
Good afternoon, Dervan.
Good afternoon.
Yeah, man, I like that opposite thing. I was thinking about the local issues of the maintenance of cemeteries, you know, in Jamaica. That's one thing. I'll give America A for and Jamaica S.
I wonder, sorry, good to hear from you. I wonder if you could just back away from the device that you're using for a little. You're over-modulating. You're loud to the point of being distorted, the sound.
Okay, I'm not speaking loud. All the cemeteries, when it passed, whether it's Mayben Cemetery, Sentence-based cemetery, they kept in very poor condition. When somebody did them weed out the section that they're going to do the burial. In America, you used to study Arlington Cemetery in Virginia, where the soldiers buried. Clean every day.
Yes, that's how it's supposed to be. That's how it's supposed to be. 7 days a week, 365 days a year.
A year, and people go look for their relatives. And them things like flowers is part of the American freedom tradition, which do that in Jamaica sometimes, not even in the burial yard at home. You understand? If the person died in a weed round, also. Now, I think them things that would bring pride to the people, you know. They said we would deal with gully work, road work.
Hold a moment, please. One moment.
Okay.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
3:15.
Are you passionate about agriculture? Join hands with the Jamaica 4-H Clubs, the leading youth organization dedicated to supporting the next generation of youth participants in agriculture. Unleash your agricultural potential through our stimulatory and mastery level training, enterprise support programs, tractor operation and maintenance, along with our agricultural scholarships and bursaries to help you achieve your academic goals. Stay connected. Follow us on social media today at Jamaica 4-H Clubs.
Love is found this way in our hearts today.
Website, go-jamaica.com, live on your smart devices all over the world. Donovan White on YouTube says, when that former finance minister was making that shameless speech, who cared? Of what importance was it? Jamaica does not have a shortage of professional, hardcore hypocrites. That's the message from Donovan White. Thank you for your message. Here is another one. Hello, Mr. Malcolm. Happy Tuesday to you and staff. I must say your pronunciation of foreign language is great. You're very kind. Thank you. Let's go back to the caller on the line.
Yes, Dervan, we're talking about some of the local issues and some of the more national issues too. Like, Dervan, there's a road down here where we travel in St. Ann from Claremont to Sentence Bay. In section, it's an NWA road. It to me, it shouldn't matter which MP, the northeast or southeast, is the NWA should plan to maintain those roads properly. You know, those are very good roads. That is still the A1 road and the map from Kingston to Marant Bay to the Grill Point. That this is the official A1 road and the Jamaican map, and you have good road, you left them for years, you allow them to deteriorate, so they cost a lot more to repair. And it's not no MP, that's, to me, that's the national, the NWA work agency responsibility to plan, to maintain these things just like the cemeteries, you know?
But they would have to fundamentally unravel the relationship between the National Works Agency, NWA, and the 13 municipal corporations.
Yes, 30. Okay.
So some work would have to be done in that area first, or maybe in Parliament. Who knows? I don't remember what the documents there say about that situation. Oh, we lost him. Sorry about that. Thanks for the call nonetheless, and all the best. 876-922-4112-5, the numbers to call. Hello to Annette Apple Williams. She says, what kind of answer is that? And you'd have to help us, Annette, because we had a couple of moments of fooling around with the caller from Florida who likes to fool around on these matters. And Julia B says, good afternoon, Dervan and listeners. I hope you're having a wonderful day so far. So far, so good, Julia B. Thank you very much for checking in. Good to see that you're still keeping in touch with us here on both sides of the story, Power 106 FM, streaming live on the Gleaners website on this World Radio Day, taking your calls on 876-922-4112-5, 876-922-4112-5. The text line, same as the WhatsApp number, 876-365-3346, 876-365-3346. And thank you very much for those messages. Keep them coming. 876-365-3346. And seeing some information here. All right, we'll have to check on this as we continue with more on your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM. Still streaming live on the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com. And we take note of the fact that the second Global Tourism Resilience Day Conference is on in earnest, with only days remaining to the staging of the highly anticipated second Global Tourism Resilience Day Conference. And it's being held under the theme, Navigating the Future of Tourism Resilience. Navigating the Future of Tourism Resilience. And that one is going to stay with us for a little while. If ever we needed a reminder of how vulnerable we are, when you look at the impact of the weather system recently, when you look at the impact on Negril, the white sand beach, and all we celebrate about it, well, in one act of nature, and that could be it. One act of nature. So let us hope we are discussing, talking, relating to each other within the region and outside of the region. We have had a lot of experiences which should help to inform the choices we make going forward, and indeed ultimately the decisions that we take when it comes on to these matters. So we need to take these things seriously. And so what we would imagine already, there's a bit of a turnaround in terms of the time, for example, to bring the Negril Beach to some level of normalcy, and the extent to which we can put in place the kind of mechanisms that will help to minimize the impact of these weather systems. I mean, it's it looks at times like this thing is really on, this thing called climate change. When you look at the changing of the weather patterns, in the middle of the day, brilliant sunshine, I mean, which is not unique. It's not anything that has never happened before. But the point I'm making in these times is like we're moving from different scenes. Scene one, and it's brilliant sunshine. Scene two, there is a light drizzle. Scene three, there are heavy showers in a particular area of the island or elsewhere, and then you just never know what to expect. So we'll have to start operating like our brothers and sisters in the diaspora, where you wear 3 and 4 jackets, serious business, 3 and 4 jackets or other warm clothing, and taking your umbrella with you, and maybe taking the sunscreen lotion with you as well, because you never, I don't want to say long enough, but for those of us who have been operating in this sphere, SPHERE, we're not necessarily going to be shocked and surprised, but we're going to be recognizing that, hey, something feels a little strange about how this afternoon's weather pattern went, or something like that. And so we have to just continue to. Happy Valentine's Day to you and your husband, who are always together. Whenever you call us, you're always with your husband. That's one noteworthy point. That's very good. That's a good thing. Together forever, Miss Hermin, Miss June in Oslo, Norway. Thank you for checking in. We always enjoy listening. Thank you very much we feel a part of the family whenever you do that. So we thank you whenever you extend that courtesy of sharing your family with us, in a manner of speaking. So thank you very much, and all the very best. Thank you for your message as well, Charmaine. We appreciate it. Thank you. 876-922-4112-5 are the numbers to call. 876-922-4112-5. Kareen Campbell says, good day, Mr. Malcolm and listeners. Good day, Kareen Campbell. Thank you very much for joining us on today's edition of Both Sides of the Story here on Power 106 FM, still streaming live on the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com, 1225 876-922-4112-5. Text line, same as the WhatsApp number, 876-365-3346. 876-365-3346. As we continue with more here on your program, Both Sides of the Story. And this is the eve of Valentine's Day. It's actually the most popular one. Well, they say after Christmas. Valentine's Day is the second most popular day of the year for sending cards after Christmas. Worldwide, more than 50 million roses are given for Valentine's Day each year. Worldwide, more than 50 million roses are given for Valentine's Day each year. The first Valentine's Day was in Paris, France, on the 14th of February. The first Valentine's Day was in Paris, France, on the 14th of February, 1400. The first Valentine's Day in Paris on the 14th of February in the year 1400. In medieval times, love was sometimes symbolized by the image of a hunter's knot or love knot, signifying an unbreakable bond.
Knowledge is power. Class is in session. Power 106. Help us protect Jamaica's borders. Tell us about any illegal guns coming through customs controlled areas. Call Crime Stop at 311. The time by the Jamaica Customs Agency is
3:30. The Trelawney ABS is celebrating its 69th anniversary of the Hague Agricultural and Industrial Show with its 67th staging on February 13 and 14, 2024, under the theme The New Face of Food, tasting Jamaican dishes, agricultural produce, lots of fun and entertainment. There'll be a variety of villages to see, economic, horticulture, health and wellness, kiddies, arts, and much more. Starting time 10 a.m. Admission children 12 and under $600 and adults $1,500. Don't miss it.
When your love is beautiful, there's nothing that can go wrong. When two hearts beat together, it's like an everlasting song. It's like an everlasting song. The moon shines bright over yonder, yeah, and it makes me feel so fine. I'm so thankful, baby.
For staying with us here on your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM, still streaming live on the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com, live on your smart devices. Oh, these devices are so smart. This one just went dark to save energy. Continue with more on your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM, still streaming live on the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com, live on your smart devices all over the world. Taking your calls on 876-922-4112-5, 876-922-4112-5. And let's go to the phone lines once again, 876-922-4112-5. Text line, same as the WhatsApp number, 876-365-3346, 876-365-3346. And let's see. So Valentine's Day dates back to ancient Rome, and we'll give you a couple of snippets on that a little later on. But let's go to the phone lines, 876-922-4112-5. Good afternoon. Thanks for calling.
Good afternoon, teacher. How are you doing, my brother?
I am giving thanks for life. And you?
I'm good so far. The reason why I call you is to hail you up. Long time I don't talk to you guys. It's been quite a while. So how are you guys doing so far? Good so far? You good?
We're fine, thanks.
Yeah, you are a great teacher. I'm here listening to your program. I just call in to hail you up. Continue the great work that you are doing, my brother.
It's very kind of you. Thank you very much for the call.
Yeah, good here, yeah?
You too. Bye-bye. Right, so we were saying Valentine's Day dates back to ancient Rome. If you showed up in Rome on February 14 with a bouquet of roses, say 2,000 years ago, you probably get some confused looks. You'd be right in your assumption that you'd arrived on a holiday. In fact, Romans would have been not involved. Participants in the multi-day affair were drunk. They were naked. CU Boulder historian Noel Lenski told NPR. Oh, and did we mention that the men also sacrificed goats and dogs? Then, goodness, then slapped women with the hides, Hides. The practice was supposed to aid fertility. The jury's still out on whether being presented with a box of heart-shaped chocolates or being whipped with the skin of a recently deceased goat is more conducive to baby making. No one is entirely sure who Saint Valentine was or were. Who exactly are we referencing when we call ourselves someone's Valentine? Much like the nature of love itself, it's largely a mystery, isn't it? Some say Saint Valentine was a priest and physician who lived in Rome and was killed by Emperor Claudius II around 270 CE after being discovered secretly wedding lovers as a tactic to get the men out of military service. However, he may also have been a bishop in Terni, Italy. Adding to the fun, it's also possible that these two stories refer to the same person. Plus, there was yet another Valentine who lived in Africa and met an unfortunate end. In all the confusion, the Catholic Church took St. Valentine off the general Roman calendar back in 1969, though it continues to recognize him, whoever he may be, as a saint. Whoever St. Valentine was in human form, he has enjoyed a wide and varied purview in the afterlife. In addition to watching over love and happy marriages, he's also the patron saint of beekeepers, fainting, travelers, and people with epilepsy. It was a pope who initiated Valentine's Day to tamp down un-Christian celebrations. From where he sat surveying the raucous celebration of Lupercalia, Pope Gelasius, I had seen enough. It was un-Christian, he decided, and now that it was the 5th century and Christians were no longer laying low in Rome, he decided to cancel it once and for all. Pope Gelasius, I wasn't a complete party pooper though, realizing he'd have more success if he replaced the offending holiday with something more wholesome. He declared February 14 the feast of Saint Valentine. Geoffrey Chaucer made the first reference to Valentine's Day as a romantic holiday. What's more romantic than a royal marriage that took 5 years to negotiate? Many things, you might argue, which might be part of the reason Geoffrey Chaucer needed 699 lines of poetry to adequately romanticize the occasion. The result was Parliament of Fowls, likely written to celebrate the union King Richard II of England and Anne of Bohemia in 1380. The poem centers on birds who come together to pair off in February, for this was sent on Saint Valentine's Day, he wrote. One every fowl cometh there to choose his mate. In the story, however, a female eagle, unsatisfied with her suitors, gets Mother Nature to give her another year to decide. It's a 600-year-old reminder that still rings true. No need to settle holiday or no holiday. Myth has it that it was Charles, the French Duke of Orléans, who sent the first Valentine to his wife, who was imprisoned in the Tower of London at the time. And while Charles was indeed a prolific romantic poet who penned more than 500 poems over the course of his life, several referencing the holiday, the supposed verse wasn't a note meant for a certain someone, but rather a commentary on court tradition. The British Library goes so far as to call it essentially an anti-Valentine. The real trailblazer was a gentlewoman by the name of Marjorie Brews, B-R-E-W-S, who was deeply in love with one John Paston. The couple wrote love letters back and forth, and in one, she referred to him as her right well-beloved Valentine, and even signed the letter as your Valentine. While men on both sides of the family questioned the match, Marjorie's mother stepped in with her own well-timed holiday reference. On Friday, it is St. Valentine's Day, and every bird chooses itself a mate. And if you would like to come on Thursday night, she implored John, I trust God that you will speak to my husband, she said, and I will pray that we will bring the matter to a conclusion. And with respect to the cards and the gifts, picking up where Chaucer had left off a few centuries earlier, Shakespeare made several Valentine's Day references in his plays, and his acknowledgement of the holiday reflected its growing prominence. Whether or not the lower classes celebrated the day is left to history, but there is evidence that wealthy people marked the occasion by giving small gifts and cards. The oldest printed card we know of dates to 1797, adorned with cupids and flowers. It also features the verse, since on this very happy day all nature's full of love and play, yet harmless still if my design 'tis but to be your Valentine. The cryptic message handwritten inside by one Catherine Mosday is somewhat less romantic. Mr. Brown, as I have repeatedly requested you to come, I think you must have some reason for not complying with my request. But as I have something particular to say to you, I could wish you make it all agreeable to come on Sunday next without fail, and in doing, you will oblige your well-wisher. And it goes on and on. If you were in the market for a store-bought Valentine in the mid-19th century, you were probably left choosing from a selection of cheap pieces of paper printed with a rhyme or two. It was in the gap left by this uninspiring offering that 20-year-old Esther Howland spotted an opportunity. Howland's family owned a stationery store, and she knew that fancier Valentines were available in England. Hypothesizing that American consumers might be equally interested in an upscale greeting card to mark the occasion, she created some of her own, which featured intricate designs and lace detail. She sold her creations for up to a whopping 75 cents or $100 today. Despite the price, her cards were a hit, and she soon hired help and expanded her business to become the wildly successful New England Valentine Company. The first heart-shaped chocolate boxes appeared for Valentine's Day in 1861. As spending on Valentine's gifts continued to rise, chocolate company Cadbury had the innovative idea to offer their chocolates in heart-shaped boxes in 1861. The logic went that in addition to a sweet gift, the recipient would also end up with a reusable decorative box. There's more after the break.
Knowledge is power. Class is in session. Power 106. You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
3:45. Here is a financial literacy tip from your friends at Power 106 FM. Learn to budget. Once you've read a few personal finance books, you will understand two rules. Never let your expenses exceed your income, and watch where your money goes. The best way to do this is by budgeting and creating a personal spending plan to track the money coming in and going out. Tracking expenses can provide a valuable wake-up call. Small changes in your everyday expenses are under your control and can impact your financial situation. Keeping monthly expenses like rent as low as possible can save you money over time and put you in a position to invest in your own home sooner than later.
When your love is beautiful, there's nothing that can go wrong. When two hearts beat together, it's like an everlasting song. It's like an everlasting song.
Thanks a lot for staying with us here on your program, Both Sides of the Story, Poro 106 FM, still streaming live on the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com, live on your smart devices all over the world. And let's see, where are we going now? We have just a couple more of the gems in terms of we should let you know, coming up at 4 o'clock this afternoon, we have a scheduled interview, and then we'll pick it up again after that. So this is the partnership with the Digital Management Institute on delivery of a DMI program at the Mona School of Business and Management. So we look forward to what Diane Edwards, this is the same Diane Edwards, right, from you, others, quickly, just a shortened version. The first heart-shaped Hallmark started mass producing Valentine's Day cards in 1913. People send more cards for Valentine's Day than almost any other holiday. Valentine's Day rakes in billions of dollars per year. Money can't buy love, says the feature, but it sure can express it. At least that's what Americans seem to think. In 2021, Valentine's Day spending hit $21.8 billion, which, due to the pandemic, was far less than the $27.4 billion spent on heart-shaped gifts, red roses, romantic dinners, and more in 2020. Candy is the most common Valentine's Day gift. If you're wondering what gift to expect this Valentine's Day, odds are that sugar is involved. Candy is by far the most popular token of affection, followed by cards and flowers. If it's jewelry you're after, don't get your hopes up. Only 10% of Americans wind up with something sparkly each year. And for better or for worse, 1% get pets. During the COVID-19 pandemic, Valentine's Day jewelry sales spiked, with indoor dining looking like an iffy prospect. It's hard to think of a less romantic gift than a killer virus. The usual gift-giving trends looked a bit different in 2021. To compensate for the lack of wining and dining, suitors everywhere turned to another place to put their money: jewelry. In 2021, Valentine's jewelry sales shot up 15%, skyrocketing its ranking from 11th most popular gift all the way to the number 3 spot. 6 million people get engaged on Valentine's Day. 6 million people get engaged on Valentine's Day. And Valentine's Day looks different around the world. They say if you happen to be out of the country on February 14 this year, your day might look different depending on where you are. In Japan, women are the ones expected to give chocolate gifts. In the US, by contrast, men spend twice as much as women on average. In Norway, women receive poems complete with cryptic clues they must decipher to discover the identity of their suitor. In Italy, chocolate-covered hazelnuts are wrapped in romantic quotes translated into multiple different languages. In South Africa, women eschew mystery in favor of pinning the names of their lovers directly on their shirt sleeves. Valentine's Day is the most common wedding anniversary in the Philippines. Two territories became U.S. states on Valentine's Day. Oregon became the 33rd state on February 14, 1859. Exactly 53 years later, Arizona followed suit as the 48th state. Despite all the hoopla, Americans are apathetic about Valentine's Day. And shall we leave it there? Or do we give you two more? No, I think we'll leave it there for now. Thank you very much. And we take it that we're not hearing from some of our guests because they're busy out shopping for their Valentine or their Valentine's Day gift. I wonder who's collecting the data here in Jamaica. I wonder. Renee Beckley, a friend of Jamaica, says because the candy is too high cost. Okay. Thank you, Renee, for your message. Let's see who else is messaging us. Courtney Thompson says, you might be too young, Dervan, to know the late Wilmot Mutty Perkins, but he was one Jamaican who highlighted this speech as corrupt. No, I'm not that young. I'm not that young. But the information is there. It's why I keep saying to our listeners, there's no need to pick a fight with anybody. The information is out there. The data is available. So yes, it's out there live on the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com. Live on your smart devices all over the world, taking your calls on 876-922-411-225. Text line, same as the WhatsApp number, 876-365-3346. Franklin McDonald is on the board as usual. He says, did you know that Marconi, the inventor of radio, is said to have had a Jamaican associate? The Jamaican is supposed to have been the person who actually killed the first message that went across the Atlantic. You can check this rumor with the Jamaica Amateur Radio Association. The word is keyed, not killed. Oh, that was an error. Keyed, not killed in the previous sentence. Keyed as in he was the one using the Maurice key. All right. And this one says, good afternoon, Mr. Malcolm. In appreciation of World Radio Day, congratulating Power 106 for its 31 years of existence, also for continuing to accept and read text messages, which is a mode used by the less fortunate to communicate with your station. From Michael in St. Anne's Bay. Thank you very much, Michael in St. Anne's Bay, for your message. And all the very best to you. Thank you very much for staying with us on both sides of the story. Power 106 FM, still streaming live. Taking your calls on 876-922-411-225. And let's see what else we have for you here. I think we have shared with you pretty much a lot of the information pertinent to Valentine's Day on this, the eve of Valentine's Day. Let's see if we missed any notables. Oh, yes, we read that already. Let's go down the line. Yep, we read that already too. Quickly, go down the line. Let's see. Right, so we had gotten to the part where we said, despite all the hoopla, Americans are up while I'm trying to use this device. Look at this, what a thing. Screen rushing up like crazy, rushing upwards. So the device has taken control of itself. Or maybe that was something I touched. Oh well. All right. It looks like they changed the subject. Oh boy, how did that happen? Sorry about that. They changed the subject. 876-922-4112 to 5. It's been pretty quiet, hasn't it? Relatively speaking. On this, the eve of Valentine's Day. So we're everybody getting ready for the big day, in a manner of speaking. Or is it just another day? But it's a public holiday as well. Ash Wednesday tomorrow. So it's Valentine's Day and it's Ash Wednesday. And let's go to hear that. Thank you for calling and thank you for listening all these years.
I have a burning issue here, sir.
What's that burning issue?
With New Haven, the house and done by New Haven.
The house?
Yes, where the people them live in New Haven.
Oh, New Haven.
When they pass in there in the night, I can say right through them out.
Oh.
And I want to know if the government can do something for them, and quite a few of them pay housing trust money.
Yeah, that's perhaps something, a story to check out.
And God forbid if any trial to take place only any storm or fire, people is gonna feel it. And then now the government, the opposition who is in the business are innocent. In can't say something for the Jamaicans, for the people them down there. That them can get him a 1-bedroom house. Room.
Well, you're playing your part in bringing this to the public attention. Pity you call us right on the break. We have a scheduled interview coming up right now. If you're able to call us back afterwards, please. Sorry about that, but we're going to do an interview now.
At Wellington Dental, they offer cleaning, filling, whitening, and other services for the entire family. The time by Wellington Dental is
4 o'clock. Today, February 13, we celebrate World Radio Day. Here's another great reason for radio. Radio saves lives in emergencies. Time after time, when disaster strikes, the first thing that usually fails is the internet and cellular telephone networks. Radio stations are often the first to provide timely information, especially to those in remote areas where transmission can be received by battery-powered portable radios. Power 106 FM, celebrating 31 years of powerful talk radio, saluting the institution of radio on this World Radio Day.
Havco Curamine Plus will remove inflammation from the body. With no inflammation, conditions such as type 2 diabetes, high blood pressure, and high cholesterol cannot stay in the body. Tanquest is a combination of herbs and fruits to remove toxins and pathogens from the body. Tanquest is antifungal, antiviral, and antibacterial. Tanquest will destroy free radicals and make you stronger for longer. Get your Curamine Plus and Tanquest from Havco Herbs and Extracts. Call them today at 540-8871. That's 540-8871.
The Auto World.
It's the only program on Jamaican radio dedicated to the world of automobile. It's the Auto World with Shelly and McLagan. Get news and reviews relating to vehicles, and automotive technology. Learn the ins and outs of mechanical operation. Find out about the various stakeholders in the local and international automotive sectors. From auto finance to road safety to motorcycles, the Auto World is your one-stop shop for everything auto. That's the Auto World with Shelly and McLagan. Weekdays at 5:15 p.m. on Power 106 FM and the Power 106 FM app.
Live on your smart devices all over the world. And we pause now to learn more about the Mona School of Business and Management's partnership with the Digital Management Institute on delivery of a DMI program at the Mona School of Business and Management. To help us to distill all of that is Diane Edwards, Director, Professional Services Unit, Mona School of Business and Management, University of the West Indies. Good afternoon, Diane Edwards. How are you? Hello. All right, let's find out what's happening there and then get this interview going on both sides of the story. Power 106 FM, still streaming live on the Gleaners website. Digital Marketing Institute have launched a digital marketing program in Jamaica. And this is aimed at providing high quality digital marketing education and a certification to professionals while addressing the growing demand for digital marketing skills in the region. So let's try and get our guest online once again. So let's say hello and welcome to access to video lectures, slide presentations, practical exercises, interactive quizzes, and a supportive student environment. Courses are designed and delivered by DMI certified MSBM expert practitioners who work and excel in a variety of digital specialisms. Industry validated syllabus are reviewed by the Syllabus Advisory Council, which is composed of leading digital companies, including Google, Facebook, Twitter, and LinkedIn. The learning content is shaped by reputable industry stakeholders. A specialist product team works closely with leading industry experts to create, review, and update the course content on a continuous basis, and participants benefit from internationally recognized accreditation upon completion of the course. The MSBM DMI offers a range of programs across experience levels and interests, including marketer.
Listen to FM. The time is now
4:15. Here is a financial literacy tip from your friends at Power 106 FM. Protect your wealth. If you rent, get renter's insurance to protect the contents of home from loss due to theft or fire. Read the policy carefully to see what's covered and what isn't. Disability insurance protects your ability to earn an income by providing you with a steady income if you're unable to work for an extended period due to illness or injury. If you want help managing your money, find a fee-only financial planner to provide unbiased advice.
Thanks a lot for staying with us on your program, both sides of the story. Power 106 FM, still streaming live on the Gleaners website. In this segment of the program, it's the coming together in terms of collaboration between the Mona School of Business and Management, MSBM, and the Digital Marketing Institute. So let's get to it, Mrs. Edwards. Listeners, if you're just tuning in, thank you very much for joining us. And Mrs. Diane Edwards is Director, Professional Services Unit, Mona School of...
Suite of courses, business courses, to help professionals hone their skills and become more cutting edge in their fields. So looking at new courses, and I'm constantly looking for new courses and courses that I think would be in demand in Jamaica and in the region and globally, because I think Jamaica needs to be a global player. We are a global player in some fields, but we need to do a lot more on the business front. And so I thought that digital marketing, which is a really powerful coming field, is an area that we need to develop our skills in. So we approached the DMI because, as I said, they are the global standard. They are the leading player in developing these courses. And what we do here at MSDM is to deliver joint qualifications that can take you worldwide and that are also available in Jamaica. MSDM is a certified, accredited organization which can deliver certification for courses. So we thought it was a great match for us to partner with the DMI, deliver there as well. And of course, the area of digital marketing is really a huge explosion now, experiencing a huge explosion, because I don't know if you know, but internet advertising has already overtaken TV advertising as one of the largest advertising segments.
Oh, wow.
So, that's a huge milestone, as you can imagine. The ad spending in digital advertising is expected to reach 1 billion this year.
And you're telling us that on this day, World Radio Day. What a thing.
What a thing. Exactly. So the internet has taken over our lives, and if you're like me, if you're not connected to the internet, you feel like you're cut off from the world. So I just think that digital marketing is a huge opportunity for young people, because it really offers you a career in the internet which you can exercise remotely, because it's so much in demand across the world. People are trying to raise their profile online, to become influencers, to become content providers. There are a range of different roles that you can play as a digital marketer. And young people need to look at some of the new professions coming out. And you've heard me say this before. There are new professions like, for instance, search engine optimization. Who would have thought of that?
Search engine optimization.
Exactly.
So that is to sharpen the level of the speed at which
your website more noticed and to improve your ranking. So if you go on Google and you Google something, it gives you a series of links. And if you really want to appear on the first page of a Google search for a particular type of content, then you need to go do this thing called search engine optimization, which is quite a science in itself. So these are the kinds of things that digital marketers can do now.
Okay.
One of the crazy new things, Dervan, which I'm not sure you've heard about, is a prompt engineer. A chat GPT prompt engineer. That's a profession now.
Oh, wow.
So you see, these professions are professions that are being generated by online marketing. And so becoming a digital marketer really gives you access to a number of new roles which were not thought of 5 years ago.
And as you are working and learning, you create. Necessity is the mother of invention. That's still true.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So you can, for instance, do pay-per-click advertising, which is, things like Google ads and Facebook ads. You can get into social media marketing, which is what most companies want now. Somebody who understands social media marketing, understands the analytics behind social media, can raise your profile on social media, because all of this is much more cost effective than traditional marketing. So a lot of marketing is now going online. And as a digital marketer, you really have the opportunity to develop your own business and also sell your services or become a specialist in a company. Mm-hmm. So it's really an exciting field because it's a field that is evolving every day, as you can imagine.
Sounds like no 2 days are the same.
Exactly. So if you're a creative person and you really want, a new skill and want to add to your skill set, digital marketing is a great thing to have.
Mm-hmm. Yes. And you said it's cost effective. What has the take-up been like so far? Well, this
is a new course which we haven't launched yet. So we're just really in the throes of launching it now. Mm-hmm. We have the first cohort is going to be on March the 23rd. And those courses will be an all-day Saturday face-to-face course, or people can do an online course which starts on March the 26th. And this will be a Tuesday and Thursday course from 5:45 to 9 p.m. each day. So what we do is offer courses that business people, working people can take up, because we know that people are working during the day and they want flexible options. So we're offering flexible options. But this course is a 5-week course with 30 contact hours. And we have 2 fantastic teachers who are actually going to moderate and facilitate these courses. One of them is a lecturer in marketing herself and a graduate of the Digital Marketing Institute course. And the other one is an MSPM graduate and commercial manager for a large private sector company. So these are practitioners, and so students can get access to some, powerful minds in the digital marketing space. So I'm very excited about the partnership that we've been able to develop with DMI.
And could you give us a general, I don't necessarily want you to list everything. I don't think you would be able to do that within the short space of time, but if you could give us an idea of the programs of study.
So I mentioned content creation. They say on the internet, content is king. Mm-hmm. So how do you create and manage content? So managing content for a website, managing a blog, a vlog, social media. How do you create content that is attractive, impactful, and the content that people want? And will keep people coming back to your website, coming back to your blog, and being sticky, as the technical terminology goes. And then I mentioned search engine optimization, and that, as I said, is a whole field in itself. There's a lot written about this, and you will learn in the course how to optimize your search engines, how to make sure that you can be on that first Google page when people are searching. Pay-per-click advertising. How do you make sure that you're advertising, or what type of advertising campaigns can you do on the different platforms? Which one is more cost effective? Which type of advertising gives you the best bang for your buck? So how to make these kinds of decisions. Then looking at the social media platforms, how do you develop the right strategies for each one? How do you analyze some of the information that you're getting and make decisions based on the information? One of the best things about digital marketing is that the analytics are there. That you can tell how many people came to your page, how long they stayed on the page, which page they stayed on longest, which call to action they acted on. It's a range of analytics that you can get, and the demographics of the people who are interacting with your pages. So all of that. E-commerce is another area that I know is very topical now. People are talking a lot about e-commerce because it's a way to communicate directly with your customer. So, wow, it's just a growing and exploding field of research, but also of skills. And if you want to become an entrepreneur, it's a great skill to have because you can promote yourself online. So brand me now becomes my product that I can promote online. So I think for young people now looking at this brave new world we're living in, it's a great opportunity.
Yes, there's no question about it. Absolutely. Sorry, go ahead.
And so if people want to find out a bit more, they can email us at msdm-psu for Professional Services Unit at uwimona.edu.jm.
That's easy to remember.
A long mouthful.
I was about to say it's easy to remember, but I just forgot it. I'm kidding. But go ahead for emphasis, please. If you could just repeat the contact details for those who have been listening and are excited by what they're hearing and their interest is piqued and they want to get involved. They want to be a part of these new programs.
So the email is msbm for Mona School of Business and Management -psu at uwimona.edu.jm. And the thing is, Dervan, I know a lot of people listening to you are overseas. So what I think is exciting is that we really want to see more diaspora people taking advantage of courses at MSDM. We think that a lot of the courses we do, for instance, our project management course and this digital marketing course, these are international certifications. So you can, and a lot of the courses we teach are online. So you can be in New York, San Francisco, or wherever you are, given a time difference, I know that, but you can log on and take the courses along with your Jamaican and Caribbean peers. And we think that you can benefit from the Jamaican experience in ways that you probably wouldn't where you are in the world, and you come out with a qualification that is recognized where you are.
You give us a lot of hope. It's quite encouraging what's happening, and we'll continue to track the progress of your development. Thank you both. Well, thank you, Diane Edwards, for your contribution. Thank you for being a part of this afternoon's edition of Both Sides of the Story. And
fantastic. Thank you so much, Dervan, for having me.
It's been a pleasure. All the best.
All the best to you too.
Okay, thank you. Bye-bye. That's Diane Edwards of the Mona School of Business and Management, and giving us an update on developments to do with the Mona School of Business and Management and the Digital Management Institute. Diane Edwards is Director, Professional Services Unit, Mona School of Business and Management at the UWI.
When your love is beautiful, there's nothing that can go wrong. When two hearts beat.
Thanks a lot for staying with us here on your program, Both Sides of the Story, Poro 106 FM. It's the eve of Valentine's Day, and good afternoon to all the students listening to us, all the schoolers from the early childhood level to the second. Yeah, I think this is yesterday was a normal school day. Today, I think there are some fun activities that the children have to do. And tomorrow is a holiday. Tomorrow is Ash Wednesday. And the Hague Agricultural and Industrial Show, I believe, is on as well. That's something to look forward to. And then back to work, in a manner of speaking, not for everybody, but you understand what we're saying. Back to work for those of us who work on Thursday, right? But of course, the children will not return to school until Monday. Yes. So good afternoon to Asha Ash. She says, good afternoon, Mr. Dervan, just tuning in from London, England. Welcome, Asha Ash in London, England. Good to have you on board both sides of the story here on Power 106 FM. Remember, the text line is the same as the WhatsApp number, 876-365-3346. David Crosburn has been holding for 34 minutes and 28 seconds. Hello, good afternoon. Thanks for calling. Go ahead, please.
Yeah, good afternoon to you and all your listeners at home and abroad. It was so refreshing to hear the interview from the Mona School of Business. I'm really happy to hear the number of opportunities that are around for our people today, and only just that they'll really take grasp of it. I can remember I was at a course at the university there, and the gentleman went to the board and was showing us about the computer and so on. And he drew the different satellites and show how they operate and so on. And he said to the class, this is what I'm encouraging you, take hold of it. And to see the number of revolution that has gone through since that time, it really warms my heart. And I'd like us to encourage everyone. I have a daughter that graduated from the Mona School of Business, and she's in the corporate world, and she's doing wonderful, and I'm really happy for the UWI and the role they are playing. I'd actually called to talk to you on the interview you had yesterday with the gentleman read the books.
Yes.
The book that was launched. It's certainly a wonderful book, Dervan, and to know that the book is 1,200 pages. I think that is...
And about 3.5 pounds, they said?
Yes, 3.5 pounds. That is something else. And not only that, it's the content. I was so pleased to hear of the content, you know. And I can tell you, I had an experience with Professor Hilary Beckles. I attended a meeting at the regional center at Mona. It was something to do with the European Union. Someone special from the European Union came by, and they had invited the public. So I attended, and after the presentation, they had a question and answer. And Professor Beckles went there, and he put in really a punch on the reparation. And I was always, all my life, I've been a reparationist. But that presentation that he made at the meeting with the European Union energized me in a significant way. And I can just say, maybe not a day for it, Jewish Valentine's Day and so, but we should not take our eyes off that issue, because fruit will be yield from it. I'm certain we'll yield fruit from it. And just finally, on the computer, early Dervan, from in the 1960s, at Monimo Sugar Factory, long before I went there, there's a department, the computer department. They had huge computer at Monimos, and it was from there that they went to establish the building at, I think it's 2 or 4 Eureka Road, the computer services. So to see how where we are now with computers, and to know then that Money Musk was a pioneer of the computer in Jamaica. It's really to see that the sugar industry really play a big part. And closing, the radio system with today's world radio day came from the sugar industry. It was the owner of Seven's Albion Sugar Estate and a gentleman, a Cuban sugar investor by the name of, his name escaped me now, but his equipment that was purchased, he donated his equipment. He operated from Beachwood Avenue, and he donated.
Thank you very much for the call. All the best to you and your family.
Indeed, thanks.
You're welcome. Thank you. Take care. This is your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM, still streaming live on the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com, live on your smart devices all over the world. Stephen Barnes says, babysitting duties, sir. Sir Malcolm, LOL. Okay. Yes, the children, always nice to hear them in the background. Franklin McDonald is on the ball as usual. What's he sharing now? How does Wi-Fi work? All right, so why not? This is from, oh, it's okay. I'll be able to read this one from the electronic copy of Scientific American. Fascinating. Looking forward to relaxing and reading. So please remember, Franklin McDonald says, please remember or remind your listeners that Wi-Fi, which all smartphones use regularly, is a form of radio. Check it out. All right, we will. Thank you, Franklin McDonald. Ellerid Johnson says, good afternoon, Mr. Malcolm X. I have two problems. Being here, $3,000 on my phone before I came here. I did not make, well, what you have here is I do not make much call, but every day after one top up, and I try to place, and try to place, I get a recording due to inactivity. You have to top up before you can make a call. Second is the Prime Minister going around taking credit for all the road works. Mrs. Simpson Miller is the person who signed the contract with China Harbor. He never once invited her to join him to open one of these roads, says Ellerid Johnson. This one from Waymaker saying, I left when Sean called. I went to GenCare to purchase a Valentine's Day gift. The previous text was in response to you asking, how come it is so quiet today? Today is sports day for kids. All right, Waymakers. And he says, Mr. Dervan Malcolm, safe journey back home. Thank you. Thank you very much. And let's continue. 876-922-4112-5. Text line, same as the WhatsApp number. 876-365-3346. So tomorrow is not just Valentine's Day, it is also Ash Wednesday, which is a holy day of prayer and fasting in many Westerns before Easter. Ash Wednesday is observed by Catholics, Lutherans, Moravians, Anglicans, Methodists, Nazarenes, as well as by some churches in the Reformed tradition, including certain Congregationalists, Continental Reformed, and Presbyterian churches. Ash Wednesday is traditionally observed with fasting and abstinence from meat in several Christian daily devotional and making a Lenten sacrifice that they will not partake of until the arrival of Eastertide. Many Christians attend special Ash Wednesday church services at which churchgoers receive ash on their foreheads. Ash Wednesday derives its name from this practice in which the placement of ashes is accompanied by the words repent and believe in the gospel, or the dictum, remember that you are dust, and to dust you shall return. There's more after the break.
It's like a
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
4:45. Here is a financial literacy tip from your friends at Power 106 FM. Guard your health. If you're uninsured, don't wait to apply for health insurance. If employed, your employer may offer health insurance, including high deductible health plans that save on premiums. Look at quotes from different insurance providers to find the lowest rates. Research all your options to see if you qualify for a subsidy based on your income.
The ashes are prepared by burning palm leaves from the previous year's Palm Sunday celebrations. Ash Wednesday is observed by numerous denominations, as we have said, and many Lent observing denominations emphasize making a Lenten sacrifice. In India and Pakistan, many Christians continue this practice of fasting until sunset on Ash Wednesday and Good Friday, with some fasting in this manner throughout the whole season of Lent. Ash Wednesday is always 46 days before Easter. Ash Wednesday is always 46 days before Easter. Easter is determined as the Sunday following the first full moon that happens on or after the March equinox, which is always the 21st of March. Lent is 40 days long, not including Sundays. According to the calendar, that means the season is 46 days long overall. Lent begins on Ash Wednesday and ends on Holy Saturday. Ashes are ceremonially placed on the heads of Christians on Ash Wednesday, either by being sprinkled over their heads or, in English-speaking countries, more often by being marked on their foreheads as a visible cross. The words, based on Genesis 3:19, used traditionally to accompany this gesture are memento homo quia pulvis es, et in pulverem reverteris. Remember, man, that thou art dust, and to dust thou shalt return. This custom is credited to Pope Gregory I the Great, although this is probably incorrect since Ash Wednesday was not part of Lent in his time. In the 1969 Missal of the Roman Rite, an alternative formula based on Mark 1:15 was introduced and given first place. Repent and believe in the gospel, and the older formula was translated. Remember that you are dust, and to dust you shall return. Various manners of placing the ashes on worshippers' heads are in use within the Latin Church, the two most common being to use the ashes to make a cross on the forehead and sprinkle the ashes over the crown of the head. Originally, the ashes were strewn over men's heads, but probably because women had their heads covered in church, were placed on the foreheads of women. In the Catholic Church, the manner of imposing ashes depends largely on local custom, since no fixed rule has been laid down. And there's just a lot. It's just a lot of data, a lot of information, but we do our best to share whatever little we can, and then in your own time and place, you're free to look up some of this information and read on a little more than we can sometimes on air. How about that? In the meantime, since we have just a few minutes left, we still have a little more time to share with you on today's edition of your program, Both Sides of the Story, here on Power 106 FM. Good afternoon to Violet White. She says, good afternoon, blessings, Dervan, and the listening audience around the world. Good afternoon, Violet White. And thank you very much for tuning in. Always good to have you join us here on Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM. And let's see. We have, so there are other customs all over the world. We're just trying to do a general summary. And Ash Wednesday marks the start of a 40-day period, which is an allusion, I beg your pardon, an allusion to the separation of Jesus in the desert to fast and pray. During this time, he was tempted. Matthew 4, 1-11, Mark 1, 12-13, Luke 4, 1-13. While not specifically instituted in the Bible text, the 40 days of fasting and pray is also analogous to the 40 days during which Moses repented and fasted in response to the making of the golden calf, Exodus 34, 27-28. Jews today follow 40 days of repenting in preparation for and during the high holy days from Rosh Chodesh Elul to Yom Kippur. And can we just, who is this now? Oh, where did it go? That's from Wayne Hall, Jamaican in the diaspora, who has a little show that he does, and he likes to share, but don't know where the message disappeared to, but so it is. The text line is still 876-365-3346, 876-365-3346, and taking your calls on 876-365-3346. And the regular call-in lines, 876-922-4112-5, 876-922-4112-5. And I think we're getting close. Who is this now? Hello, good afternoon. Thanks for calling.
People and deprive them so that we can believe them, So this knowledge is not, it's scary to some people because, it's the truth. The truth will never be as, it will never be as easy to accept as the lie. So what they do, they change it around and they change it around, make a lot of confusion in the world. Okay, so that's what I wanted to do, get out, big up to all of my people, my mother, my father, my brother, big ups.
All right, big ups to you too. Thanks for the call.
Yes, sir.
Take care. This is your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM. Can we thank you once again for the privilege of serving you on yet another edition of your program, Both Sides of the Story, for today, Tuesday, the 13th of February, 2024. The moving finger writes, and having writ moves on. Nor all your piety nor wit shall lure it back to cancel half a line, nor all your tears wash out a word of it. All things being well, both sides of the story returns Thursday afternoon, 2 to 5. Till then, this is Dervan Malcolm reminding all of us that
love has found its way in our hearts, in our hearts. Oh lady, you bring me up, you bring me up. Yeah. I've never gonna let you slip through my finger. No way, no, no, no. Oh, lady, let me stay in your heart.